because we couldn't eat the what they call choice parts. It's also beef brain. So the brain holds a significance for the power of the intellect, and the heart holds a certain frequency for a warrior. Did you ever hear the warriors always talk about how much heart somebody got in a fight?
Yeah.
It is commonly equated to courage.
Yeah.
The ability to stand in the face of opposition fearlessly.
Yeah.
Right? This is the energy they're trying to take in to help them conquer who they is. Right? And you also got to remember, they believe they take on the essence of the one they consume. This is why they still do communion in the church, continuing the simulated cannibalism of consuming the God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, but they don't know the purpose of it. They think they commemorating the Last Supper.
Yeah.
They're not commemorating the Last Supper. They commemorating cannibalism.
Reptilian.
Right, and the energy harvesting of consuming the God.
Eating his body and drinking his blood. And they ain't caught on to that yet. Man, you ain't caught on to that? That's that sound like, come on, man. That don't sound like no holy roll or stuff. Eating a man's body, drinking a man's blood. Even if it is symbolic. So they want to say, oh, yeah, well, it's symbolic. That makes it even worse. Because that means it's a spell. It's a spell.
Yeah. So that's how magic works.
Right.
Right. So when the genuine article is not available, you're allowed to use a comparable substitute.
That's right.
Right. And based on the culture that you live in, is they say that it's been banned. Cannibalism is outlawed, as they say, but they still having communion.
Right.
So in the facsimile, the duplicate, the replica, is the bread, which signifies the flesh, and the wine, which signifies the blood.
Yeah.
Notice the wine is wine when grape juice turns to alcohol. Right?
Yeah.
Which is also tapping into another frequency of spirits. Mm-hmm. Alcohol is called spirits.
Right. That's right.
Right. So when you use them as formula, if you study high magic or ceremonial magic, they tell you that if you can't find a general article, reasonable facsimile can be substituted.
That's right. That's a fact.
Right. So if I got a spell that requires beaver testicles, but I don't live around beavers, I can use a muskrat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So the comparative analysis, the spiritual energy recognized the event as if the event was the same event as the first event that is built on.
Right.
So if they sacrifice the God to start the program, then you sacrifice him every time you maintain the program. Yep. That's called conjure maintenance.
Yeah.
That's how you keep a spell going. You got to maintenance the conjure. And this is why we went back to war, and the war 1812 gave the devil an extension.
Right.
Right? They tell us all these other reasons for the war, but they don't tell you the real reason is because the tribes rebelled. Nobody was maintaining the conjure. So it reset the clock back to the original conjure that began with the blood of Crispus Attucks. So it was supposed to end in 1776. 1976, the bicentennial. Right? But it'll take another 50-something years because the war 1812 reset their clock. This is what Elijah Muhammad was talking about. The devil got an extension. And I think it was a message to the black man or either the fall of America. But he was talking about the devil getting an extension. It's best based on not maintenance in the conjure, then the conjure being maintenance. This is your black codes, maintenance in the conjure. Yeah. Your restrictions on learning. Yeah. Your restriction on acquisition of wealth. your restriction on families' cohesion, right? Separating them, shipping them off, right? They had stuff they couldn't answer for because one of the elders was talking about how they take this woman baby to that plantation.
Yeah.
She ain't worried about her child because when they bring the child from the other plantation to her plantation, that's her child now.
Yeah.
Right? So they know their child gonna be taken care of no matter which family farm they took to. Mm-hmm. Right? So they had to break that up. So they had to spoil the women. And you know, one bad fruit will spoil the whole bunch.
That's their game. Go ahead. Hey, Rod, you said something about the spells. I heard when I was studying Aleister Crowley and them, and they was talking about that he was one of the most powerful. That they really in their witch because once you're a witch and you go amongst the other witches, they don't get offended like that. You don't stand out. Like I can go amongst them, right? Once I found out that I was a wizard too, right? Mm-hmm. When I get amongst them, they say that Aleister Crowley was one of their number one guys, like for the bad ones. They say, "Oh yeah, well he's our number one guy, like the best guy, like the most hot. Like he showed us a lot, right?" And then they goes into say that the longest spell that can be casted is only can last 6 months. And I said, "Damn, that's
without maintenance."
Yeah, without maintenance. I just bring out back what you said, and it goes the same with the jab. That's why they had to keep giving you the jab because it was alchemy, it was witchcraft, or pharmacy is witchcraft. So it was witchcraft. So they got to keep giving you a jab every 6 months, or they got to keep doing maintenance on that spell. Just like you said, it all ties back to what you said about it. The spell got to be maintenance. It got to be a ritual. That's why they do the Mama's Parade in Philadelphia, and they do like in England. They have where they paint the black face. Well, they stopped probably doing it now because that's why it's coming to an end because they can't keep that maintenance on that ritual. That's why the Moors waking up. Look, so somebody stopped it. The Philadelphia parade where they march with the black face with our faces on, and then they go do it in England too, right? The Mama's parades. So I think they stopped that now. So, but there was maintenance. They did that every January 1st. In April, like during the time when they sacked the Moors, like in 1492. So you think that was a maintenance ritual? Go ahead.
They still do it in Spain. They never stopped doing it in Spain.
Go ahead.
Right, and it is the maintenance of a ritual, right? But you brought up Crowley. Crowley was known as the Beast, 666, right? And he was known for being rebellious to every secret society he joined. Now, in order to understand what Crowley was and what Crowley was doing, you got to know his history. You got to know he grew up with a fanatical father that was a Christian preacher. And that he gave a vow that not only would he expose the church, but he said, this is when he was like 12 years old. He said he's going to expose the church, and he's going to go into the Masons because the Masons was the ones who had the hold on his father stronger than the church, and put all of their secrets out. Right? He said, I'm going to tell it all. Right? So this is why none of the occultists of the era, they couldn't stand Crowley, because he was putting all of their secrets in the public domain. Right? His epic work, Gems of the Equinox, right? He got so much knowledge in there related to the practice of magic that was never supposed to get out into the public. It was supposed to be kept concealed behind large doors. That's the only way that the ones contracted as Masons, because they under contract if they in the Brotherhood. The ones those are speculative Masons. Operative Masons is the ones who live in their life doing the actual work what they call the magnum opus, the great arcana, right, of building the society of heaven on earth in the midst of being attacked from all angles from the devil, who is the contracted ones. So it becomes a war against Masons and Freemasons, right? So in order to be a Freemason, you have to be a traveling man. You have to be on the land, occupying very diverse places and maintaining your character the whole time, which ties back to understanding what it means to be royalty. Royalty ain't just the blood alone. It's also the character development that makes you worthy to sit on the seat called the throne. You're not worthy if you don't go through the struggles of life to hone your character and your skill set so that you can be an asset to the collective instead of being a liability. Tyrants is liabilities. They only out for selfish gain and selfish agendas. So you don't want to put a tyrant on the throne. But you do want somebody that's strict. You do want somebody that stand on business. You do want somebody that won't back down in the face of a threat, right? All it is the development of the self in operation. So you become what they call an operant Mason. The speculative Masons are the ones who studying what you're doing and trying to figure it out. What is he doing? Why is he doing that? So they study human psychology, sociology, and then they try to use that information to control all of the people. But some of us is uncontrollable. They're incorrigible. You can't control me, only I can control me, and I'm only going to let you control me to the degree in which it benefits me. When the benefit is gone, your control is lost. So Crowley did exactly what he said. He didn't stay with Blavatsky long because she was putting the secrets out in open. He didn't stay with Israel Regardie long because he was putting the secrets out in the open. Right? He didn't even want to touch Rudolf Steiner because he wasn't scared of too many people, but Rudolf Steiner wasn't his cup of tea, nor was Franz Bardon. Right? But Crowley did exactly what he said he was going to do. Expose the church and expose the lodge. He put the lodge business out in the open. They put a hit on him. He just survived it.
And they ran him up out of, was that England? They ran him up out of somewhere where their main stronghold was. He got ran up out of there. And they moved him out the country. It was Switzerland or somewhere. He got ran up out of there.
Yeah, he ended up, I think he died on a little island outside of Italy.
Yeah, he was trying to do this 6-month spell, the longest spell they got in their spell book.
Well, if you don't do the maintenance on them, then they dissipate. It's energy.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's like driving a car. If you don't put no gas in it, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The same engine that you burn gas in, with a few tweaks, you can burn water in it.
Yeah.
So the great deception come in and them telling you that the only way you can get this amount of power out of this engine is you got to use fossil fuel.
Yeah. 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 It's already somebody that they already converted it in the 1800s. Over here, we had cars running off of water. They come to find out that's what that dude was breaking down in that clip. I ain't played the whole clip, but he said that we were more advanced. Like Nikola Tesla was just a cover up. Like he said that we already had lights and plumbing and like sewer systems and everything over here before Christopher Columbus came. Like sewer systems.
Yeah, we had all that.
And trains and stuff.
We wasn't no Stone Age spear chucking backwoods. We didn't need weapons.
Yeah.
We only needed weapons to hunt. We didn't need weapons to fight war. We didn't have them kind of wars.
Yeah.
If it got bad enough, my chief gonna fight your chief.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Or they gonna pick their champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I say if it was a war to be won with the fist, Big Tookie and Mike Tyson would have took it a long time ago. It wasn't about that. Those were what they call them. Those were bullet points on the essay. Somebody that can do it all. It wasn't about physics. Because if it was about physics, Lord Quartermain would have took that. Because they couldn't create a atomic bomb out of Einstein's formula until they called in Lloyd Quartermain. It ain't about education, because Carter G or Amos Wilson, Hockey Model Booty, they all would have took that a long time ago. Right? Half of this stuff Elijah would have took. There's some boys in the nation got them hands.
Yep.
And, they just don't run around fronting that they got them hands, but don't pull up on one and try to find out.
Yeah, right.
Right? But, he was turning out champions of all caliber. He had Ali. Right? He had great authors that we look back now, we read these books. Some of them that wasn't formal members, like Dr. Clark, but he was feeding information to Elijah. And Malcolm. And Martin. Right? Dr. Ben was feeding them information to keep their education program ahead of the fallacy. Right? So you got people like Chancellor Williams, whose information was fed through the nation. Destruction of black civilization. Right? A lot of that information, if the nation wasn't showing us what to read, we wouldn't have knew what we needed to read versus what they told us to read. We wouldn't have knew that we needed our information to offset what they was telling us. Right? I was ordering college textbooks, but at the same time, I was in the Final Call bookstore, and I was in the Answer Allah bookstore ordering books from us. Right? They had this. I had this one catalog called African World Books out of Philadelphia. I was ordering books out of, but then I was ordering books out of Edward R. Hamilton, and my brother and sister paid for all the knowledge. That's why I can give it away for free. It's been paid for already. It was paid. It was prepaid.
Right.
Right. I paid attention, and they paid the bill. Right. So it's been double paid at that point, triple paid, because it was a brother, sister, myself, and then my attention. Right. So we was getting together, trying to formulate an understanding of what was taking place. I didn't know I was going to be the chief they was going to call for this. I was living my life. But then the codes started coming in, and you can't duck them because you get bombarded by them. They activate you. You can't help it. You got to move in a certain direction. People think you insane. So I had to go get a psyche eval to prove I wasn't insane. So I sat there and told the history of psychiatry and psychology to the psychiatrist, who was perplexed. Why are you even here? You know this better than me. You are definitely not insane. But you got to also remember, intelligent people, smart people, sound totally batshit crazy to dumb people.
Right. Yeah, bro. Okay, we're gonna roll about 2 or 3 more, then we'll take some questions. I got another good one to roll. Let me roll and ask a question right there. Now, so based on what we getting is there any artifacts that could potentially awake the more, or wake it with people of this land? Okay, now that's what the question was. Now, he said that there was Phoenicians and Hebrew writing. Right, we know that the Phoenicians were tall. Some of them could have been 7 foot tall, like Shaquille O'Neal height, because the Watusis are naturally tall. If you go look at the Watusi, they the tall tribe, and then we had because they showed based on the artifacts that we seen, the ones that we was able to some kind of way get pictures of or what people told us, that they had two different type of phenotypes. The one was the Watusi looking, that's the Felicians, the ones they said the Felicians, they was about the Great Lakes. They populated the whole Mississippi, the old Mississippians. And then they had another a shorter group that kind of resembled the Twa Man. And then they had another group, which they found these guys everywhere. They found one of these guys frozen in the ice in Antarctica. These are Far people. Right? They are Far people. So they found them guys over here. So, man, what would that do? I mean, the truth is out now. But what does that gonna do for the whole paradigm? Their whole paradigm falls down. We got to start back from the beginning and start from scratch, all the way from the beginning, because the whole storyline don't start from Africa. It starts off from the It start here.
Right. Well, you gotta remember, they just started studying over here.
Yeah.
Because the goal was never to give us any information related to anything over here.
Right.
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 And so when they tell a narrative and they out of Africa theory, if you incorporate what was going on in the Americas during the whole out of Africa time frame, it spoils the narrative.
It hurt their feelings.
Right. So you see the artifacts that they collected tell the story.
Yeah.
This is why they have to always conceal them and destroy the bodies, conceal the bodies, take the skulls off the bodies, certain stuff that they was doing.
Blow the whole
body. All to design to control the narrative. Everything started in the Americas.
Right. It would be no other reason to cover it up. If it went to what the storyline they gave us, if the storyline they gave us was legit, it'd be no reason for the Smithsonian Institute. The Smithsonian, and then they said they had a fire where after they collected all those artifacts, and then 1885, right after the Civil War, they burned down. It was 65. They burned down. What it was 65 or 85? All of a sudden, the place burned down to the ground. Huh?
It was 65 because I noticed it was not too long after the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember, it wasn't just the Smithsonian that burned during that time period. It was all of the records across the land. It was burning the churches that had the records in them, the libraries that had records, the city halls that had records. All of them was catching fire. That's why most of my mama history has been burned up in the fires, because they in Magnolia they burned down the library with all the records in it.
I heard my granddaddy say something like that they burned when they had no birth tickets, they burned it down.
Yeah. So we had land diagrams that we used to use to map out our plot of land. That's what they was mainly trying to destroy, so that we won't be able to say this was on my land.
Yeah.
They didn't want us. This was before they came out with something called an alloidial title. That didn't have nothing to do with us. That was European record keeping.
Yeah.
Right? But once they gave us the records, we started asking questions, and the questions led to us seeking the answers where we couldn't get it from them.
Yeah.
Because we know that they have to put it in the public domain somewhere. We just have to locate it. We just didn't know that they would be telling it to us in news stories.
Yeah.
And using the big screen and political satire to control the narrative. But they've been doing it the whole time. And the same people was behind it. The unseen hand. The black hand.
Real slick, like they saying, red hair giants. Now, if you go and look at the South Bantu people, which was over here, they put this red dye in their head. The tribe, I know you probably seen that before, right? So that's when they saying red hair people. They talking about these Bantu peoples.
They're talking about the ones that use the red clay.
Right. And that's
No,
why
we literally had redheads over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, with our Nana, I know about the with the red hair, green eyes, our Nana's daughters. But I'm talking about also that's what he talking about though. He talking about the redhead, the Bantu that they used to put the red dye. He talking about that people. He ain't talking about the Aldebaran connection with our Nana. That's a whole nother connection. You know what I'm saying? With our green eye family.
He would have identified if it was clay. If it was red clay.
I'm telling it. He
said but look, we're going to think that you probably didn't notice. He used the word more than once, and the word was stasis.
Go ahead.
You ain't dead if you're in stasis.
Yeah, I know it.
Let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah. Okay, so the goals, it's called. Well, you call them Netarus, Natharus. They had a device. Murdoch and them had a device that could put you into stasis, and it really was a sarcophagus. It really was the first prototype to the med beds before they got to making the med beds. Murdoch now, and so what they would do is they could lay in this thing, and it would just put them into like when they float out of space, it just put them into like a deep sleep where they age slower. Like a slower process of aging, right? Just kind of like what you said they did to Tookie and all that, kind of like the same thing, but it's more advanced where they don't gotta freeze you. It's like a type of machine where it's put you into this. You get into there and they put you into a certain type of.
They use sarcophagi for that. They used to call them regeneration chambers.
Yeah.
And it was a sarcophagus that carried a certain frequency to regeneration of your cells.
Yeah.
So it moved all your biology to when you was in your best performance shape.
That's right.
Right. And they had the ones like these two, they called them giants. Yeah. When they could put them in stasis in a sarcophagus, and then they could inhabit another human's body that's walking around.
Yeah.
As a walk-in.
Yeah. That's happening. So what I'm thinking is, he's saying giant. He really talking about these 7 foot. Like I said, on Watusis, they get 7 foot, and then when the Watusis mix with the other groups, which like the Sandsman and Twyman, they created other races like the Bantu. And like I said, I'm Bantu. They even show a picture of Satuk. Somebody painted a picture of Satuk. He even got the red hair, but the Mississippi, that red clay dirt is found up and down the Mississippi. That same red clay dirt that they was putting in their hair. I'm telling you, Rod. He don't know that's what he's saying. He ain't even saying it because they don't really want to tell us that why these Bantu people that's doing this red dye already over here in America 50,000 years, 40,000. Because Doc already said it though. Doc already told us in the Let's Set the Record Straight book that the people they was over here. The Bantu people, they was already over here, the Almacs and all that. The Bantu people are the Almacs, right? So they was already over here, and they even show statues of these people with they even show Almac statues with the braid. How the people, the Bantu people braid their hair. The Almacs got the same braids, and then, like I say, that red dye they put that in their hair. That's why they say these red hair. How he black with red hair? Come on, man. I'm talking about like dark black. These niggas jet black with red hair. That wasn't the bunch, the Nana bunch. That's our other family members, which we got 3 different types. It was the red hair, green eyes with the freckles. That's one of our Nana daughters. One of her other daughters had black hair with dark colored eyes, and the other one was a mix between the two, which gave her, when you mix the red with the black, it gave you a brown or a brunette color. And if you ever see them women that's from them three different ones I just named, and they be thick and fine, because you can see them some gingers, they be thick and fine. That's our Nana's daughters, and that ain't the people he talking about though. Although they was over here too.
Let me tell you something from experience out of I went to Mississippi to visit back in '85. And I was out in that sun so much down there that I had patches in my hair that was the color of my skin, but my skin had got darker.
Yeah.
But my hair had these parts that had literally bleached in the sun.
Yeah.
You know, so there are dark people with red hair.
Yeah, I seen it.
It's just not as common as dark people with dark hair. It's like in the Melanesian people, you have some people their skin is so dark that it got a purple tint and then they got blonde hair.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the real
so
thing.
Yeah, the sun also can bleach your hair for you.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on, you know what I'm saying, what was going on with the people of the era. But I do know from experience that the sun will bleach your hair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's but like based on all what I'm collecting, like he's saying, oh, it's a pharaoh. Then the other dude said, oh, well, that's in Utah, right? Well, he's saying that they found this tall 7-foot pharaoh in Utah.
Man.
Yeah, and then in another spot in the same kind of area, another guy said, oh, these Phoenicians. They all go back to the Phoenicians because that's like a code name for them. Well, they can just.
Yeah, we said that it was Phoenician writing discovered in the Great Lakes region.
Yeah, but because it's not Hebrew, there's no such language really as Hebrew. That's what they're
Paleo Hebrew. What he said.
Yeah.
He said they had Paleo Hebrew and Phoenician, which is very similar.
Right. But it's, the Hebrew is not the language because the Hebrew was an act that that's what other people called us when we went. You
got to remember they renamed everything, so we just using the names they named it as. But even Arabs didn't call themselves Arabs. They still don't call themselves Arabs.
Right.
They call themselves either by their tribe or their country. They don't call themselves no damn Arab.
Right.
The only ones that still use an ancient name and refer to themselves as the Chaldean.
Yep.
You know, and then they're the same people. One of them became Christian, the other one became Muslim.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of interaction with people from around the world in the Americas pre-1492.
Right.
And we can act like it didn't happen. We got stories of Vikings came over here when St. Patrick was on his raid. Scott and Scotia came over here, and they was all welcome.
Right.
Now, post 1492, they created a caste system that we didn't have based on skin color. We didn't have that.
Yeah.
They created a system for everything that we naturally do. We can only do it now under their control. You need a fishing license. We don't need no fishing license to fish. I'm from the land, on the land, going about to feed my people from the land. What is you talking about? Right? We used to traverse the land freely and unrestricted. Now we need a driver's license and follow a speed limit. I don't have an objection to speed limits, so I know it need to be enforced some kind of way. But the reality of the situation is we didn't have a lot of the restrictions before they came that we have now, but they telling us we supposed to be free.
Yeah.
We supposed to be the freest country in the world.
Yeah.
We free to be slaves as long as we choose to be. That's what the only thing that we free to do.
Right.
You can't. It's against the law to have children, especially for men. You punish as a man if you rear children, right? And the women get the benefit from the government stepping in as her provider.
Yeah, that's sad, man.
Right? That's just it's systematic control. But when you born in it, it's hard to see it. It's like a fish trying to describe water to another fish.
Yeah.
They can't do it.
Yeah.
They got to come out of water to even recognize they in water.
Yeah.
You know? So it's the same way with these systems that they got in place. If you even look at and do a study of the Panther Party, everything that they did, the government shut down and started doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even what the nation do.
Yeah.
The government was trying to shut them down. They wasn't able to. They tried. But everything the nation was doing, they started doing.
Yeah.
Elijah Muhammad invented the franchise. But we think it was McDonald's or KFC that invented it.
That's deep.
You know, so they didn't know nothing about franchising until Elijah Muhammad started doing his Muslim restaurants.
Yeah, the fish places.
Yep. And you know, he had buses. We didn't need to go Trailways or Greyhound. We used to catch a nation bus. Right? He had all this stuff. Bakeries, new printing presses and stuff. Everything that they was trying to control, he was trying to find a way to give us the control. We just got hung up on this Islam BS.
Yeah.
We not looking at the tribal activities, the tribal structure that he's maintaining.
Yeah, he was doing Islam civics. That's what he really was doing.
Whatever you want to call it. But you got to always remember, they don't believe it's Islam if it's not Arab. If it's not Arab culture, if it's not ancient Arabic nobles on the mystic shrine, they don't accept you as a Muslim. But it don't got nothing to do with the religion. It got everything to do with how you use the information to uplift people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Some of the best Muslims I met is in the nation, and some of the worst ones I met was born into it in the overseas.
Right.
So you got people like Bilal Phillips, Siraj Wahaj talk bad about Elijah, talk bad about Imam Issa, and at the same time they trying to be black Arabs.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay over here. Get your ass on over there with the Arabs and show you what it is to be a black Arab. You're going to find out when you get there. And then you're going to try to act like it ain't happening. This is the same with Ben and me when he moved to Israel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't enjoy the benefits of being over there like the paleface do. But they won't tell us that.
Yeah.
The only melanated ones that got any valuable benefit from the Israeli government was called Falashas from the mass exodus, Operation Exodus Mossad plot from the early 80s. We don't even know what happened. Right?
Crazy.
So they brought the Falasha over there and they put them on welfare. They feed them. They don't get the same medical care standard as one of those Khazarians over there or those Sephardi over there. They don't get that kind of treatment. But they still did better than they did with Ben Ami. Right? And he did what I'd say all of them should do. If you don't think that this is where you're supposed to be, take your ass where you belong.
Right.
You don't got to stay here. But we gonna win. Right? So they use these religions as control measures. Elijah was using the tribal structure.
That's right.
It's just basic tribal structure, and most of us was too blind to see who Claire Muhammad was. But Dr. Cleves knew. That's why he set up the shrine of the Black Madonna across on the other side of town from Temple Number 1 in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was telling you something. Nation was just reflecting it. Right? For art, that was just the wages for the Muhammad, the worthy one. Because most people don't know the etymology of the word fard. It's the same as the word ford. It means the wages to get across the river.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's just the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Polar opposite. North Gate, South Gate. Right? Iceman to the mother of the South. Use the mirror. Study. Use the mirror. Translate the names. What is he telling you? Claire Muhammad was the one the whole time. She wasn't one of Mother Khadijah to replace her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she got to give her the juice. Can't get the juice from nobody that ain't the one with the juice. Or else you just got secondary juice. But at the end, it all comes forward. Full circle. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. From the Alpha to the Omega.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Rod. So overall, on exposing the Smithsonian Institute, what do you think this place? We don't really need the. I don't really need to. I don't personally need to see the artifacts. I know what the deal is now. Like they might have some more stuff to say. Oh, that's interesting. But I don't really care about the artifacts. We already got the truth. We already know. Hey, we go back forever on this land.
That ain't for us, though. Huh? It ain't for us. It's for Dr. Umar.
Go ahead. Oh yeah.
It's for what's the brother with the show on CNN?
Mark.
Martin.
I know you.
Roland Martin. That's who the artifacts is for.
Go ahead.
The artifacts is for Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
For all these other so-called Negro leaders we got.
Uh-huh.
Right? That's who the artifacts for. Those Afrocentric ones.
Yeah.
Right? They got to remember, you got to see what's over here in order to understand where you at. Right? It's for the $5 Indians. It's for the ones that thought we was from somewhere else, and now they about to find out we've been here the whole time.
Damn, I'm telling you, in a cold way.
That's who the artifacts is for. The ones of us that know how to pick a book up and track down leads, we already know what's up.
Yeah.
But you remember, you want to hide something from a Negro, put it in the book.
Right.
So I'm not a Negro, so they don't apply to me.
That's crazy. That's crazy because he the guy that study promoting. He's on the other day talking about oh yeah, see they got us. They enslaved us. They took us in the back and they put us in chains. And he want to paint he want to like wrap that around our mind.
Okay, let's deal with that, Adam. That's what you call victim stancing.
Okay.
You answer every failure with the position of the victim.
Okay.
As long as you continue to be the victim, every story you're gonna tell gonna be from the position of the victim.
Yeah, that's how he do it. That's all it is.
But when you rise up and go against the victimizer, you no longer see it the way the victim sees it. Because you can look the beast eye to eye now and you won't buckle or fold. Because that don't got nothing to do with you, what he talking about over there. What got something to do with me is what I'm talking about over here.
Right.
You can tell me I'm from anywhere you want to tell me, but my roots talk to the earth over here and say, baby, you at home.
Yeah.
You just where Big Mama wants you at. Don't leave no stone unturned.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Right? So everywhere I seen the chief, I pointed him out. Right? All these are the stones the builders rejected. I've been building a community in everybody's face, and they didn't even see it happening.
Yeah, it's big too. Big.
You know, I've been initiating unity response in the communities, Chicago, LA, Atlanta, Houston, but people don't see it because they think I'm just on the internet talking.
Yeah,
I done already did so much footwork. I done already talked to Bloods, Crips, Vice Lords, Latin Kings, Peace Stones, Growth and Development, Black Disciples, Black Gangsters, Satin Disciples, Maniacs. I done talked to them all. I done already did that footwork. Now I'm just trying to inform everybody what to expect.
Hey, this person said they don't follow nobody without a passport. Could you break down what a passport is, Rod, still making them a slave?
So first of all, this is a metaphor. In other words, I'm not following nobody that can't get in the doors we need to get in. Passport is used as a euphemism for being able to get from one place to the other unrestricted.
Go ahead.
So that's a hood saying. You ain't following nobody that ain't qualified to lead.
Right.
And the passport is the qualification.
Go ahead.
Right. But at the fundamental level, since you asked the question, driver's license, state IDs, and passports are all the same as free papers for emancipated slaves or slaves with passes off the plantation. But that ain't what she was talking about. She was talking about she ain't following nobody that ain't qualified.
I think that's what she could have been, or she was talking about a passport with somebody. I heard some people say that. Oh, if you don't got a passport, then he don't know what he's talking about.
You know, but the passport is used as a euphemism, as a metaphor.
Nah, some people they really mean like actual passport.
But that's because everybody don't get the euphemism.
Yeah, I know.
They stuck in literalism. That's why a lot of information get lost in translation. Because when they say pale face speak with forked tongue, they think he lying. He ain't lying. Yeah. He got two agendas coming out his mouth. He got the agenda of the one that sent him, and then he got his own agenda too. Mm-hmm. And the only way you could tell him that is Drink Champs or Mud Hut, Peace Pipe Ceremony. Make him tell the truth. You can't lie to the chief when you chiefing with the chief.
Right.
Can't lie to him. You don't know you lying out the game. Like, why you telling me that bullshit? It sinks you, so you're a built-in lie detector. Experience teaches you the best.
Yeah. Shout out that boy, brother. Hey, shout out Chief Brother Love. Yeah, they talk about that same thing on the Stargate. That Raw was just talking about the Stratus jars. They call them Stratus jars on the Stargate movie. How the Najarus were storing their essence inside of these advanced technology, and they can go into like a sleep state. Right. All right. What you say, Rod?
I said that's stasis.
Oh, yeah, stasis. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Let's take two more questions and we will wrap it up.
Yeah, everybody wrap it up, man. We already about 2 hours and 30 minutes almost in. Drop a question in the chat. We'll take two questions and we'll get up out of here.
Somebody keep asking the one question about Ukraine firing the U.S. missiles into Russia. Who else missiles they gonna fire? Who armed Ukraine?
Yeah,
America arms Ukraine. They about to get cut off. Israel is too, but Israel lasts because they represent the great imposter. Right? So when you realize that all this stuff is to steal our birthright over here so that they can steal all of the tribes of the earth birthright.
Yeah.
This is the final showdown, the final conflict, the battle of Armageddon. It ain't even got to be bloody warfare. It's a military strategy. Who's the most strategic? Who's able to see through the BS the best? Who's able to deceive the most? Who's able to see through the deception? It's a chess game. Right. Multi-dimensional chess game. Multi-generational chess game. When you know where all your pieces was at on the board, when you look back, you know where they at in the future. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is move the pieces accordingly. It's a piece of information on the bottom of each piece that tell you what you need to do in order to advance the piece. It's called directions. Everybody can't follow directions is the number one problem we face. This is why nobody wants you to tell them that.
Right.
Because everybody think they know everything already.
Right.
So when somebody like we sit here and we do these classes, you got the hecklers that come in the crowd trying to disrupt us because they don't want the people that's in the crowd listening. They want to distract them with the shenanigans and the comments so that they can miss the message.
Yeah.
They just come to cause the chaos. But we chaos magicians, so we use it to our advantage so that nobody can't miss out on nothing.
Right.
We adjust and overcome. Right? No retreat, no surrender. Full steam ahead, balls to the wall. Platinum back gorilla rage in this motherfucking place.
Yeah.
Let them get it. How they get it. You don't gotta like it, but you gonna learn to love it, because when it's all said and done, the underdog on top now.
We've been winning for, well, people don't know, but they don't. Everything that the people that came before us was saying about how this all ends, it's happening right now. Like I can see, like what Elijah Muhammad said in the fall of America about the fall of the dollar. All it's like it's happening right now, like as we speak. It's all happening.
Yep. Matter of fact, they already gave a Federal Reserve deadline for fiat notes before they shift over the system.
Yeah.
Now remember, the system is going to shift over before they get rid of the fiat note.
Yeah.
The deadline is January the 1st. So we know we're going to have a new currency come 2026.
Yeah, they already switched a lot of banks over already.
Yeah. Did you see they got a whole new, like one half of the world is on the old internet and the whole other rest of the world is on the new internet?
Yeah.
They don't got nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a large shift and it's almost complete.
Yeah.
And when it's done, everybody gonna know what happened. They just put out the arrest warrant. They just arrested what's his name? Comey, the dude from the Russiagate scandal. So the first arrest been made on that. Next thing they're gonna have to, and then Trump just gave orders for the DOJ to go ahead and execute the arrest immediately. He gave that order today on a Sunday. Or it might have been yesterday on a Saturday. But he gave the order to start arresting these suckers immediately, right after they called all of the generals to Quantico. Not Quantico, it's a Marine base. They called them all to the Marine base. I forgot which one it was. But they have never, in the history of the country, called all of the generals in one place at one time. That's unheard of. Right? But they just did it. Something big about to shift. It's about to pop. I'm waiting on the fat lady to sit down on that pimple.
Hey man, I'm already ready for whatever. I'm ready for whatever. Like C. Murder said, we ready for whatever. I hope Teddy Ready about to clip his wings, touch the sky, bro. I think C. Murder was kind of like psycho a little bit, bro. He's a psycho serial killer a little. Yeah, there's something he said.
Malcolm said it best. If you ain't an angry black man in America, you're an insane black man in America.
Hey, look, what either are. They like Doc said, they don't love you. I mean, they don't love you and they hate you. It's like this. Like Martin Luther King was teaching love. Let's hold hands. Let's join together. And bang, they shot him. Malcolm X said, "Hell no." You see how he going the opposite. Bang, they shot him. So it stands to reason. It don't matter how you go with them. They don't like you anyway. They ain't gonna like you.
The thing is this: you don't want your inferior to muster up the wherewithal to be your superior after you done them wrong, because you don't know how they going. They got a right for revenge if they choose it. You don't know what they gonna choose because of what you done did. Right. So you don't want to give up the power to the people you done did the dirt to. Because if you get the power up to the people you done did the dirt to, you don't know. You like, they at your mercy.
Right.
Right? So they don't want you to join them. So don't talk that peace talk. Shoot them down. But they don't want you to start your own. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, etc. They'll burn you down. Right? If you talk about standing up to them, Malcolm, they will shoot you. Get rid of you. Right? If you make alliances in high places with us, they JFK you. They RFK you.
Yeah.
Right? So it don't matter because they don't want us to get back on top because they say all the stuff we did to them, we don't know what they gonna do to us.
Right.
It don't matter. We gonna do whatever we want to do when we get on top.
Now this,
but we ain't gonna do nothing reckless though.
Yeah, right.
Because we follow the matriarchal order, and the matriarchal rules say getting rid of this person gonna benefit or hurt the community. Right? If it's gonna benefit the community, arrivederci, off the cliff you go.
Yeah.
If leaving you around gonna benefit the community, well, we got to figure out a reformation plan. We got to change your mindset and get you to bump straight. Because if you don't bump straight, even if you benefit the community, you off the cliff you go. But if you ain't gonna benefit the community in no kind of way, and you on that list, off the cliff you go, out the gate, ain't nothing to talk about. But if it's a benefit the community can draw from you, and you willing to reform, but you know what Elijah say, can the devil be reformed? No. It's been tried.
Yeah.
It's utterly failed. So if he can't be reformed, that means he was a devil to begin with, and he gonna remain a devil, so we gonna give him the devil's reward.
Right.
But if he's able to reform, that means he wasn't never the devil to begin with. He was us.
Right. And on that note, we could drop the mic and walk off stage. We had 2 hours and 30 minutes. Oh. Hey, y'all, we got 1,800 people in here. Everybody hit that like button right now before we get up out of here. If you want to show Raw, hey, some love, like I say, we want to keep them off the plantation. We're going to have them back as soon as we can. We got the Cash App right here dropped on the screen and the PayPal for the people that was asking. We was dropping it every people was asking. I was just dropping it every 5-10 minutes. But yeah, everybody send them $5 right now. Put them in the game. If you want to show them $25, whatever you want to do, man. You know, if you feel in your heart. What else we gotta say? I was gonna ask you something else before we get out of here, bro. It was something about maybe it wasn't supposed to ask you right now about it. I think I might have had it wrote down. Off in your eyeballs,
yeah. Actually, the ones who was credited with discovering King Tut's tomb, all of them died a miserable death in real life.
Right.
That's all of those tombs with those elders in it like that say that don't disturb this tomb.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's stuff in there, man. It's energy that comes with you moving that energy around that follow you wherever you go. It's on you now. It's like skunk stink. You can't get it off.
Yeah. This is deep. Or they might have some 2,000-year-old spiders, some kind of mosquito in stasis. They have them in stasis. As soon as you open that shit up, the motherfuckers come out of stasis and bite you in the crack of your ass and inject some shit from 2,000 years ago. Now you walking around with your eyeball, man. Tell you, our ancestors. Look, we getting back there, man. But our ancestors wasn't nothing to play with when they can write that shit on there like that, and then exactly how they said it. 2,000 years later, he walk up in there, and same shit happened to him, just like they said it on the wall. Man, that's power right there, boy.
But you gotta remember, it's just like a contagious disease. When you send enough people catch it, you know what it is. Right? They didn't seen it enough. They didn't perform the magic enough, so they know how it works. Right. So they can tell you that if somebody do it, this is what they should expect. Right. And I don't think they should get nothing less for bothering God bless the dead.
Yeah.
You ain't got no business messing with them. Just remember, the Smithsonian was put there to conceal information that would disturb the Out of Africa narrative.
Right.
They were also put in there to disturb the narrative that it was anything significant in the Americas before 1492.
Right.
But as we speak, they are exhuming the Monkey King village in South America. And it's huge. We had massive citadels, cities, and castles all over the land. When you talk about the Nobel Peace Prize, right? You know the guy that created it was notable for creating dynamite. That's what his claim to fame was. But remember, they used the dynamite and the TNT to blow up all of those massive buildings with controlled demolition way back then. Yeah. The Great Fire of Chicago was started with explosives, but they told us it was a wooden city, and it was started by a cow flipping the farmer's lantern into a hay bale. That don't even make sense. Right. That would put a whole city of Chicago to burn. Then the other half of Chicago, there used to be a shelf that floated on Lake Michigan. They blew that up, and it's under Lake Michigan now, down off Navy Pier. Wow. And that's why they got shows, Marvel shows, trying to explain the architecture and how they did it when this was supposed to be underwater.
Wow.
They then came up with some of the most fanciful explanations for how they built this stuff, this lighthouse sticking out the water 300 yards away from any land.
Yeah.
Right? With a tunnel that goes to the land. Come on now. It was made on the ground first.
Yeah.
But they sunk it. It's the same thing as St. Bernard Parish in right outside New Orleans. Yep. It was the shelf that sat over the ocean in the Gulf. And during the wars, they blew the shelf and made it collapse. And now that's why you got a church steeple with a cross on it sticking out of the water.
Mm.
That tell you that it was post 1492.
Yep. Yep.
Now, so we know that when they came, we had a bustling civilization, but they told us we was all savages living in tents across the land.
Yeah.
Man, that is the most ridiculous thing. Lewis and Clark is the ones who said wasn't no royalty on the land because all the castles was empty.
Mm.
They the ones did the what they call it, the survey.
Yeah.
They were surveyors. And then you got to look at the people that accompanied them on the trip, and that explains everything.
The dirty Moors. The dirty Moors who spoke our language.
Yep.
They did.
They didn't just encounter us in 1492. And Columbus didn't think he was in India because India was Hindustan at the time.
Right. And they called the area that they call in Arizona was called India, according to what our Nana said in her book. She said that Indian Valley, Arizona, Grand Canyon, all that was called the Indus Valley. And with she said that Colorado River ran down through the Indus Valley, and that was her land. And that's why they found a big ass statue when they walk in the Grand Canyon. The statue of the goddess, that's our Nana.
They've been doing that for a couple thousand years. That ain't nothing new.
So I'm saying like 1,000 years ain't that long for them though. For these
things. When you trace that back through the religious world into a cultural point of origin, you end up in Babylon.
Yeah.
Remember, the Babylonian magic system was money magic, sex magic, and blood magic.
Yeah.
And the children is the most powerful source of the blood magic and the sex magic for what they trying to accomplish.
Right.
If you don't realize that your religion is, those are called sin rites. Right? Sin rites. It was a deity in the Middle East called Sin.
Mm-hmm.
Also known as Menor-Sin.
Mm-hmm.
His practitioners was the ones who followed those three systems. Money magic, sex magic, blood magic. Mm-hmm. To be a sinner is to be a participant in those three systems knowingly or unknowingly. It has nothing to do with you making errors in life because there's no rule book to how to live life. You have to, every child born got to figure it out for themselves. And most of them don't make it. Most of them don't make it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they still got to figure life out. Once you figure life out, then you have to teach as many people as you can how it works. And you normally kept that in family structures for the ease of the transferring of the information from mother and father to the children.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They gave us this idea of the 1 and 2 child household because we